Shalom. Foremost, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Ruach Kadosh. Salutation to the elders and apostles of GMS groups and ones alike, teach 100% truth. Shalom, Barakathum to them, and double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS groups and ones alike, teaching this 100% truth, so we can become edified and have this knowledge. And at foremost, give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Ruach Kadosh, foremost before everything. Shalom, Barakathum. Amen. Tonight's lesson is about, I'm going to talk a little bit about Operation Dark Winter. Pretty much what it is. Operation Dark Winter was a code name for a senior level terrorist attack simulation conducted, pretty much a mock simulation, from June 22nd to June 23rd, 2001, was designed to carry out a mock version of a covert and widespread smallpox attack on the United States. Location: Andrew Air Force Base, Maryland, United States, June 22nd, 2001, June 23rd to June 23rd, 2001. That was Wikipedia. I'm going to read some key points relating to this TimeNowNews.com article. I wrote some key points relating to scenarios. Operation Dark Winter. When the U.S. lost the bioterrorist exercise in a biological battlefield against smallpox, Operation Dark Winter served as a grim reminder and a wake-up call to the people entrusted with protecting U.S. and its citizens from bioterrorism. Three key highlights. The Dark Winter exercise held in 2001 portrayed a fictional scenario depicting a covert smallpox attack on American citizens. Number two, major fault lines found between different levels of government, between governments and private sectors, among different institutions and agencies within the public and private sector. So basically private and public. No surge capability in the U.S. healthcare and the public healthcare systems or in the pharmaceutical and vaccine industries. I'm going to write down that's three of the key points. Now here's 7 other key points relating. The national decision making should be driven by a data and expertise from medical and public health sectors. The American healthcare system lacks the surge capacity to deal with a mass casualty. So basically, on a grand scale level of mass casualties and deaths, these hospitals are not equipped to deal with that volume of relating to the increase of, God forbid, a scenario happened, a real case scenario where a lot of people were affected. These hospitals wouldn't be able to withstand the capacity relating to the volume of dealing with that. And that relates to unpreparedness relating to these hospitals and medical fields, man. When a real case scenario happens, when you have a mass level of where exposure being inflicted upon the citizens, where a mass level of people are going to be affected by certain things. These places are not equipped. These institutions are not equipped for that kind of volume and mass. The increased tensions between state and federal authorities, pretty much jurisdictional, territorial type war. In a matter of speaking, governmental egos, man, flexing upon one another. You're in my jurisdiction. No, you're in my jurisdiction, hypothetically. Which ultimately leads to that divide between getting anything done, both from the public and private sectors, where they can coordinate properly among one another, without any ego, without any arrogance, to pretty much get certain things done and work it together collectively. God forbid a situation happen, Number 4, a rapid spread of misinformation on cures and treatments for the outbreak. Number 5, difficulty of controlling the unpredicted movements of civilians from infected areas. Being pretty much not having enough to monitor certain things. Relating to keep what is how many are affected. From how many are really affected or not affected. So because they can make up numbers where they don't know exactly, so they have to hypothetically guess and guess to a certain extent. So without really accurately pinpointing the exact, So and this relates to pretty much giving you the necessary information that's needed for the citizens, without tampering, without figging the numbers or fudging the numbers, giving you the accurate information that needs to be what it is, what it actually is. And that's from a media aspect, and that's from just overall. Telling you the real nitty gritty, what needs to be told. And stop pretty much modifying it to fit a certain narrative on certain sides. To the point. Number 6, domestic turmoil, political uncertainty with sporadic rioting in large urban areas. That sounds familiar. 2nd Esdras 15. We'll read it right now. Got to put a verse on it. Second Esdras 15. We'll put 15 and 16. The sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. You know what that is? Pretty much nation, a class of people versus another nation, class of people. Race riots, class riots, relating to different classes of people clashing, using the swords, using all forms of weaponry to battle one another. Number 16. For there shall be sedition among men, invading one another, and they shall not regard the kings and princes. And the course of their action shall stand in their power. And that's what's happening now. Relating to various countries. Chile, fighting over economical, social, political, jobs. Hong Kong still rioting over rights. These things are happening. These things are happening. And they taking the course of actions in their hands to ultimately arise against the princes of powers. Basically ones who are in power and rulership. So they taking it to their authorities in their respective countries. Now, getting back to what I was saying with this. Domestic turmoil, political uncertainty with a sporadic rioting in large urban areas. That's civil unrest, sedition, and these are all future prophecies, current and really future prophecies. The increasing dependence on the willingness of individuals, citizens, to self-quarantine to stop the spread of the contagion. That sounds familiar. Guess what? That's this COVID virus. They were doing a mock version for something, the future to happen, relates to this. We can call this the dark winter. The dark winter, Operation Dark Winter 2020. That's the COVID virus. That's what we're going through now. Self-quarantine, stay at home. They were doing mock versions of things that pretty much they knew that was going to happen, ultimately. And 7 makes a point. And realistically, the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua controls this anyway. So man can never be prepared for what Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua ultimately is going to do, because the Lord controls everything, both on the left and right side. This is a spiritual thing. This is beyond man's understanding. This COVID virus, the Lord Yahweh did it, because he controls it by using Esau as the tool, as the utensil to implement ultimately that scourge. And that scourge is a tool and punishment to ultimately execute judgment. We living in last days. This COVID virus is just the beginning. The Lord hasn't even got started yet. What he's going to do. He's going to use both on the left side to implement his plan as he sees fit. In the time and season that he wants to do it. So relating to that, that talks about the time. That article relates to TimeNowNews.com if you want to read. TimeNowNews.com for information on that and various other articles. John Hopkins has an article relating to that. You know, these are just a mock version of a covert operation relating to a bioterrorism. Pretty much biohazard, which this COVID virus is pretty much labeled as. It's a bio weapon, ultimately. And many will go in conspiracy theories to say the purpose of what was started. I'm not getting into that. I know ultimately that it's a spiritual thing that these things manifest. You know what I mean? Conspiracy theory is basically a way to deflect what they know really is the truth. By calling certain people that call out certain things zealots and crazy. So they call them that. And that's to deflect ultimately what they really know is the truth in their heart. They know these things. They just deflecting on it, on that by mocking these people who speak on these. But the last laugh is going to be on them. That being said, I want to begin to end this. Give all praise to Yahweh, B'Shem Yahshua, B'Shem Rakadish. Salutation to the elders and apostles of GMS groups and ones alike, teaching 100% truth. Shalom, Barakathon to them. Give all praise to Yahweh, B'Shem Yahshua, B'Shem Rakadish. The water shalom.